Hi, this is Jack from Tritium Soft. I just want to talk to you about Tides Table SD a little further. So let's go into the table. And when you're in Tides Table, one of the nice features here is so we have a scrollable view, but we can make plans weeks in advance. Um, we know what the schedule is going to be of these tides, when they're going to be coming in, and so it just helps you plan because sometimes um, low tide can be just as much of a problem as high tide. So high tide, your vehicle ends up underwater. You have to pack your things up. It can be an issue. But low tide, you can get muddy surroundings, muck. Maybe you can't even get out to the water because the mud is so thick. And so it's just a nice feature for somebody who goes to Fiesta Island um, to know what's going on with the tide, because a lot of times you can't tell if it's coming up or going down until you get to the beach. And another thing we can do here is if I swipe to the right, that tells me what the last tide was. And so if I swipe to the left, it tells me what the next tide is going to be. And so that way I can use the rings. These tides leave rings on the beach, and I can use these rings to estimate where's a good place to set up my barbecue. And that's really what this whole thing's about, is helping you enjoy your trip to Fiesta Island as much as possible. Because these tides can impact impact your trip. The other thing is we have an interactive map here, and one of the beauties of this, Fiesta Island is actually quite large when it comes to for a sandy beach barbecue place. And so there's lots of facilities, but if you're trying to meet somebody or you're trying to find a nice place to go, we have this map here. You could describe to somebody or take a picture or look for places. Oh, I want to park over here. And you could say, oh, we'll see that here's a barbecue pit here. These little squares, those are really nice barbecue pits, but they're not everywhere. So for instance, while there might be some there and all that, if I come down here, you can see at this location, even though this is a more ideal location for almost every situation, that there are no barbecue pits. So if you don't bring your own method of having a fire, like a barbecue, then there's no fire pit for a campfire there. And so that's a general thing you can use this map for. The other one is if you look at these rings, you can see this real dark brown ring here, and that's where the tide had been the last time. And so, but just looking there, you don't know whether it's going out or coming in. But if I look down at my table, you can see I'm expecting a high tide in 5 hours. So the tide's on the way up. And if we look at our graph, or if we just look at the data, I swipe right. So tonight's high tide is going to be 2 feet higher than the one that they had at 10 this morning, but it's not going to come in till like 9 o'clock. So, you're probably going to be gone by then. When if you're not gone, you're waiting for fireworks. And so, anyway, so this map is really handy. You can also go over and say, well, maybe I need to find a gas station or something. You can look at the neighborhood and see what things are in the neighborhood. Like, for instance, oh, well, there's a gas station right there. And so it's a real handy thing for figuring out other places to go. Or maybe you want to leave the island and go over to this nice leisure lagoon. So it's just another feature that you can use to enjoy Tides Table SD. Thanks for watching.